The Epstein Files. Millions of pages, and the truth still tries to hide. The first thing you learn about a file dump is this: truth doesn't arrive in a single document. It arrives in fragments, scattered across paper cuts and black bars. Maya didn't work crimes the way detectives did in movies. She worked them the way they exist in real life, as paperwork. At 2:13 a.m., her screen lit up with a portal login. A new archive had gone live, the kind that makes headlines for weeks and destroys lives in minutes. The folder name was small, almost casual: Epstein/released materials/batch 01. No flames, no shock music, no sirens, just a library. A library that had been waiting for the world to get hungry. She clicked open, and the first thing that hit her wasn't horror, it was volume. Thousands of PDFs, spreadsheets, scans of old memos and courtroom exhibits, some clear, some crooked like they'd been hurried through a copy machine. Names appeared everywhere, then disappeared behind thick black redactions like someone had painted over the past. On the right side of her screen, a legal disclaimer blinked. Victim identifying info removed. Maya whispered to herself, because in her world you survived by repeating the rules. A name in a document is not a verdict. But the internet didn't believe in rules. The internet believed in matches, and all matched easy. The first myth: there's a clean client list. By sunrise, the crowd outside the truth was already roaring. People demanded a single page, a single list, a neat lineup of villains. Show the client list! Maya had heard it 1,000 times. Everyone wanted the story to be simple. But the archive didn't look like a list. It looked like a machine. There were contact directories that read like any rich man's phone book. Assistants, pilots, house managers, lawyers, numbers with no names, names with no numbers. There were flight manifests, columns of dates and airports and passengers, a spreadsheet that the public treated like a confession. And there were court papers, depositions, sworn statements, exhibits, and the most dangerous kind of text on earth: testimony. Testimony could be truthful, it could be mistaken, it could be strategic, it could be revenge wearing a suit. Maya didn't worship documents, she interrogated them, because a file doesn't just reveal things, it can also frame things. The second myth: being named means being guilty. The first time Maya saw a famous name, her stomach tightened, not because she believed it meant something, but because she knew what would happen next. A name inside a deposition could mean a witness mentioning someone they saw at a dinner, someone being introduced once, a name thrown out under pressure, an error, or something darker. But online, there were only two categories: angel or monster. Maya's job was to build a third category: explainable, verifiable, proven. She opened a deposition and read the lines slowly. A lawyer asked short questions, a witness answered, then corrected themselves, then contradicted a previous statement. And Maya felt the familiar cold realization: this archive wasn't just about crimes, it was about power, and how power bends truth until truth looks like opinion. Flight logs, the spreadsheet that ruined the world. Flight logs went viral first. They always did, because flight logs look like certainty. They look like a scoreboard. Maya created a timeline wall on her second monitor. Dates, locations, recurring names, clusters of travel, gaps where the records went quiet. But she didn't stop there. She never stopped there.
Because a flight log shows movement, not meaning. It can say someone boarded a plane. It cannot say why they were there. It cannot say what they knew. It cannot say what they saw. It cannot say what happened after a landing. And yet millions of people read a line on a manifest and decided they'd just watched a crime in real time. Maya leaned back and exhaled. "The public wants a guillotine," she said. "The truth wants a timeline." 4. The real story is the assistants. Maya stopped reading the glamorous names. She started reading the boring names. The staff, the schedules, the gate notes, the housekeeping logs, the invoices. Because that's where the machine shows its teeth. Not in parties, in routine. A typed note about appointments, a calendar entry that repeats too often, a staff message that uses the same coded phrasing again and again. Not cinematic, systemic. Maya had learned something early in her career. The loudest documents are rarely the most important ones. The most important ones are quiet and horrifying precisely because they sound normal. 5. The redactions, protection, and darkness. At noon, the archive went offline. A notice appeared, temporarily unavailable due to redaction review. Maya's phone exploded with messages. Someone had posted screenshots that revealed information that should never have seen daylight. Private details, identifying fragments, pieces of victims' lives that were meant to stay protected. The internet celebrated like it had won. Maya felt sick. The people most harmed by this story weren't celebrities. They were the ones who never asked to be famous. She wrote a line in her notes. Transparency without discipline becomes cruelty. 6. The rumor wave and the word you asked for. When the archive returned, the mob returned stronger. And with the mob came the ugliest tactic in the modern world. Push the story so far into nightmare that reality becomes unbelievable. Someone started pushing a claim that the files hinted at cannibalism. It spread because it was grotesque. It spread because it was clickable. It spread because it turned a hard, document-based story into a horror carnival. Maya searched the archive for it anyway. Keywords, OCR, metadata, attachments, cross-references. Nothing credible. And then she saw what she really needed to see. The same rumor posted by dozens of accounts in the same minute with the same wording, linking to the same proof, which was always a screenshot. It wasn't evidence. It was a smokescreen. Maya stared at the pattern and understood the strategy. If you flood the public with insane claims, you accomplish two things. 1, you distract them from real, verifiable crimes. 2, you make anyone seeking truth look crazy by association. She typed one sentence and underlined it twice. Extremes are how the guilty hide inside the noise. The truth that doesn't trend. The biggest discovery Maya made that week wasn't a famous name. It was a memo. A small, administrative memo, the kind that would never trend, showing how a serious complaint had been treated like a nuisance. Reassigned, delayed, softened, filed under the wrong category, handled by people who wanted the problem to disappear. No dramatic villain speech. Just the scariest force on earth, institutional comfort. Maya sat with that memo like it was a confession from the universe, because the files weren't just proof of one man's crimes, they were proof of how many systems were willing to look away. 8. The ending. The archive never ends. By the time the last batch was uploaded, the public was exhausted. Half of them were convinced the world was run by monsters. The other half were convinced it was all fake. Both sides were wrong in the same way.
They wanted the story to end cleanly.
But real cases don't end like movies. They end like a door that doesn't fully close. Maya saved her final report as a simple title: What is known, what is claimed, what is unproven, what is missing. Then she added one final line at the bottom. The files don't just expose people, they expose how easily truth can be weaponized. She shut her laptop. Outside, the internet was still screaming. Inside, she finally understood the real horror, but that the world will happily trade precision for entertainment and call it justice. The Epstein Files don't prove wild theories. They prove how easily truth gets buried when power is involved. So, what is your opinion about the Epstein Files? Comment below all your theories and subscribe for more videos.